Hello everyone and welcome to the Hockey Hub. I'm Brennan and today we're going to talk about the Pierre Luc Dubois situation. Now Pierre Luc Dubois has been one of the most interesting names in the NHL these past couple of weeks because he's requested a trade out of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Dubois was supposed to be that big piece for the Columbus Blue Jackets at forward, that centerman that they were going to build their franchise alongside, with Seth Jones and Zach Werenski and their two young great goaltenders. So the fact that Pierre Luc Dubois wants out has led to a lot of speculation. A lot of teams have interest in him, and it's just been a whole smorgasbord of rumors and speculation. A lot of it is obviously not true, but when there's smoke, there's fire. Obviously, there's some teams that, for obvious reasons, would be interested in him, like Montreal due to the whole French-Canadian thing. But there's some teams that have a fit for him and is interested. So we're going to start off with a little bit of a backstory about Pierre Luc Dubois. So Pierre Luc Dubois is a 6'3 centerman who was drafted 3rd overall in the 2016 NHL entry draft behind Patrick Laine and Austin Matthews. So obviously he's in good company there, and he is expected to be a first-line center, kind of an all-around good player, similar to a John Tavares type with a bit more of a physical edge. Pierre Luc Dubois in his rookie season scored 20 goals, 48 points, had another 20-goal season, and if not for this past season being cut short by COVID, he was on pace for another 20-goal season. Dubois looked like he really had his breakout performance in the playoffs, though, scoring 10 points in 10 games and having a hat trick in a game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, including the overtime winner. So that being said, Pierre Luc Dubois has cemented himself as a really good young top six center and definitely has the potential to be a true first-line center in the National Hockey League. So it's not common when a player like this requests a trade, and apparently he has. Dubois has requested a trade, and nobody's really sure why. The main rumor right now is that he wants to play for a big market, and Columbus isn't exactly that. So Dubois wanting to go to a big market, obviously that's going to create massive rumors from these big market teams that would like to add a player like Pierre Luc Dubois, and the fans are interested in a big name like Pierre Luc Dubois. Columbus Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella has come out and said that he's not really sure why Dubois has requested a trade. Tortorella spoke about, obviously, he's a hard coach, he's a hard-nosed coach, but it's not like he was specifically hard on Dubois, but I guess maybe Dubois feels that there's a bit of a strained relationship between himself and management, and that's led to a trade request. Dubois did end up signing a 2-year, $5 million per year contract extension, and basically that was thought to maybe make him more tradable, and that he will, play out this contract. He's not demanding a trade. He's not sitting out. It's just he wants a trade, he wants out, and he's been open about it, or at least Tortorella has, so, it's on the wall right now. It's completely out there, and that's going to put Blue Jackets general manager Jarmo Kekalainen in a hard spot. Now, getting into some potential suitors for Pierre Luc Dubois. Now, obviously, the Montreal Canadiens have kind of been the biggest name out there because he is a young French-Canadian centerman, and this kind of has Montreal and Marc Bergevin all over it. Obviously, being a Montreal fan, maybe you guys would expect that, I'd like to see Pierre Luc Dubois in a Montreal uniform, but honestly, aside from the whole French-Canadian thing, I really don't see a fit for a guy like Pierre Luc Dubois in the lineup. I have heard some people say, when a guy like this is out there, you have to take advantage of that. And yes, maybe that's true, but Montreal already has guys that are supposed to be that, these next top two centers. So Dubois being a natural center, I don't see a fit when Montreal has Suzuki, Danault, and Kotkaniemi. And I don't honestly want to give up what Columbus is asking. So the rumor has been that Columbus wanted, at first, both Nick Suzuki and Alexander Romanov from the Montreal Canadiens. That would be a landslide win for the Columbus Blue Jackets, in my opinion. Nick Suzuki is already close to being at the same level of Pierre Luc Dubois, and in my opinion has the potential to be even better. And Alexander Romanov, nobody's quite sure what he's capable of. He could end up being a top-pairing blue liner. So, giving up a first-round, or, what's supposed to be a top-line centerman for another top-line centerman, but also giving up a potential first-pairing D-man, I don't think that would be a great trade for the Montreal Canadiens. Apparently, Montreal has offered Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Victor Mete, but that doesn't really make sense from a salary cap perspective either, since Montreal virtually has no cap space, and they're not going to be able to take on all $5 million of Dubois' contract. So I think that the whole Dubois to Montreal rumors simply come out of the fact that he's French-Canadian. When you look at the salary cap, when you look at the team fit, there isn't a need for him, and he just kind of doesn't fit in the lineup or to the long-term plan when it comes to how they're going to manage their salary cap. I don't think giving up young players like Nick Suzuki, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, or Alexander Romanov is a great idea either. A team that I actually think could be a good fit for Pierre Luc Dubois is the New York Rangers. Now, the Rangers apparently are interested, and to me, I think this would be the perfect fit for him. Dubois wants to play in a big hockey market, and there's almost none bigger, at least in America, than the New York Rangers. The Rangers also have a desperate need for a true second-line center. They've had Ryan Strome playing that role, and while Strome has done an admirable job, he's not really, envisioned to be the guy of the future behind Mika Zibanejad. Pierre-Luc Dubois could come in as not only a, top six center to play that second-line role, but he could maybe even bump Mika Zibanejad down in a few years if Dubois continues his skyward progression. So I think Dubois could be a perfect fit for the New York Rangers with how he plays. That would be a big market. He has a spot, and the New York Rangers have a lot of assets that they could trade away to get a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois. I know that Kaapo Kakko has been a name that's maybe floated around there. I think that would be a big risk for the New York Rangers, but I think with the recent addition of Alexis Lafreniere, that could probably, I think they could absorb that blow, and if it means getting a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois, I honestly think the Rangers should think about it. Other teams that have called on the availability of Pierre-Luc Dubois have been the Winnipeg Jets, the Anaheim Ducks, and the Calgary Flames. I think, I'm not sure if Anaheim needs to make a trade like this. They've got a young potential first-line centerman in Trevor Zegras, who is, incredible at the 2021 World Junior Championship. But that being said, Winnipeg, I think there could be a bit of a fit there, maybe a Patrick Laine swap. And Calgary, I mean, there's been so many rumors with them lately. Maybe they could look at a guy like Johnny Gaudreau going the other way. So, we're going to see a lot of these speculations, but there's also, with how the NHL season is structured, a real problem with a Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, at least if he's being traded to Canada. The big problem if Pierre-Luc Dubois is traded to a Canadian team is the whole 14-day quarantine entering Canada. This is a law implemented by the federal government, obviously for Canada, and it's not one that they're going to waive for the NHL. That's why we're seeing the Canadian division, because they can't have teams quarantining every single time they come into Canada for a set of games. So that's why we have the Canadian division, and that's why I don't think we're going to see Pierre-Luc Dubois get traded to a Canadian team. Think about it this way. If Dubois gets traded to Montreal, and Montreal has to give up one of their young centers, they're going to lose that young center for at least 7 games, and they're not going to get Pierre-Luc Dubois for at least 7 games because of the whole quarantine thing. So 7 games in a condensed 56-game schedule could be enough to sink you right there if you've given up some big pieces out of your lineup to get this guy. When he comes in, he could make a big impact, but I honestly don't believe that we are going to see a Pierre-Luc Dubois trade during the season. Maybe the trade deadline, if a team that isn't really looking at contending either, thinking maybe the Ottawa Senators wanted to pick him up, there could be a fit there. And I think Columbus has already said they kind of want to see where their season goes before they make a move. And I think that's probably the right thing to do. They still have Dubois under team control for the next 2 years, and I think this is probably a move they should explore in the offseason. Mid-season trades can be hectic, and especially with COVID and how the whole NHL format is working right now, I think that it really wouldn't benefit, the teams if they were able to work out a trade. If he was traded to an American team like the New York Rangers, perhaps that's different. I think maybe something can be worked out then. But I think that Columbus would be smart to kind of wait till the offseason and hope that Dubois has a big season as well to boost his value. And, that's not an unrealistic expectation. He knows he's playing so that, other teams are keeping an eye on him. He wants to be traded, and he's probably going to play even harder for that. He's already said that he wants to be the best teammate and player he can be, and that he's still going to give it his all every night. So if Columbus has a good season and Dubois has a good season, Columbus could end up getting a king's ransom for him in the offseason. But that does it for today's video. I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now.